What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming up from the company itself, and where on earth are we heading from here next. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Lucid did go down 5.8%. Absolutely crazy stuff. There was a new 52 weekend all-time low created at $3.40. 43.5 million shares were traded. 38 is the average. Despite the higher volume though, you do see a lot of this was just algorithmic trading. So AI trading among themselves. And there is some abnormal ones right here, and that's just big money essentially selling. And you can kind of tell that based on this. So this is all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So a couple big ones, 1.12 million, 4.95. But like I've been saying over the last little bit, big money is just not getting into Lucid, which is absolutely crazy stuff. And in my opinion, that does largely fall back down onto the sentiment, because a lot of people are looking at what is coming out from Lucid, and they have been radio silent for the most part since, I don't know, maybe I would call this maybe news December the 5th. So they've been radio silent for a while. And even when it comes down to management, normally when a stock is selling off, I've used SoFi in the past, so their CEO, Anthony Noto. When SoFi has gone to close to their lows, whether it be $4, $5, or $6, their CEO buys using his own money, not using warrants or options, derivatives. He uses his own money. And Peter, hands down, is paid probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times SoFi's CEO's salary. Crazy stuff. Peter, don't get me on the whole subject of his pay, especially based on Lucid's stock performance. But once again, Peter buying using his own money, I feel like might be the saving grace to help Lucid get out of this massive death spiral that it is on right now. So Lucid, just things are not working out for it right now. And of course, a lot of people are just waiting for the Q4 numbers, which might be coming out potentially Friday, because January the 12th, 2023 is when they did put out their previous Q4 numbers. So it is fair to assume it might be somewhere around that time frame. And I did bring this up in a video yesterday, so I just wanted to address it. My apologies, I did actually say 1,060 for deliveries in Q4. I just completely neglected, seeing this was 2022 and not 2023. So my apologies based on that. Hopefully it is probably 4 times that and kind of meeting the expectations, but we just have to again sit tight and wait. This might be the saving grace to potentially cause Lucid to kind of go up as well, or depending on the numbers, it might actually break it a little bit faster. Let me know your thoughts on that, and what do you feel is realistic for Lucid's Q4 delivery numbers? Do you think it is going to be maybe around the 1900? Because I think 1900 is kind of the highest that they've ever done. Or do you think it's going to be around the 4000? In order for them to hit their 2023 targets, they do have to have it at 3900. So what's your thoughts on that and some expectations? I'll go over some of the data points and everything else that you need to know, starting off with shorts. So today, shorts did increase 2.8 million shares. So over the last several days, they've been increasing, I think it was 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and now 2.8 million. Crazy stuff. 25.25% of the free float is being shorted. 223.54 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 3.12%. Through Interactive Broker short availability, there is about 3.5 million shares available to be shorted. So kind of interesting stuff. I feel like a lot of shorts are waiting for CPI data, and that is coming out tomorrow. These are some expectations by a lot of the big banks and institutions. So CPI coming out tomorrow might actually be the saving grace for the broader market, or potentially could escalate this downtrend a little bit more. And as well, depending on the actual true data, a lot of people are going to correlate that with the number of rate cuts that is going to be coming and whether it's going to be sooner or later. So what's your thoughts on that? Lucid's technicals definitely did break down today, so I wanted to go over this. So based on the latest Elliott report, as of today, it does show $4.15 being the pivot point. And so for as long as it is below that, it is anticipated to go anywhere from 255 to 282. So not necessarily the best. And so far, the Elliott wave has been kind of on point with Lucid, predicting its downtrend over the last 6 months, give or take. So who knows? Do you think that this is realistic as a price target, 255 to 282? Or do you think it's going to be around $3? What's your thoughts on that? But over and above this, when I talk on some of the technical support and resistance points in the short term, it might make sense a little bit more. As far as options though, currently there was about $1.4 million in calls being purchased versus 43 million in puts. So dollar value wise, very low in comparison to the last several days. And sentiment wise, there was no real kind of movement, and 94% of all the options being done sentiment wise was neutral. So still nobody really knows necessarily where it is going to go in the short term. Clearly just a lot of options premiums trying to be collected. Of the call options that were being purchased today, there is a consensus for it to be above 350 by the end of this week. So like I've said over the last several videos, just the optimism has been lowering and lowering and lowering, because initially there was some expectation for it to be above 5 this week, and then 450, 4, and now it is 350. So kind of crazy stuff. Looking at puts, it is anticipated for it to be sub 350. And as it stands, Lucid actually did land on a very strong support. So the low today was 340, ended at 341. After hours is up slightly, but it is currently trading between this S3 and this S2. So 342, exactly where we are at, is the last line in the sand, the very strong support. And so if it does break that, then it's going to be more psychological supports. So the whole numbers, so around 325 and then 310 and so forth and whatever else. And then potentially if it does break 3, then this will hold very true between 255 and 282. But you'll really want to watch this holding tomorrow, especially with CPI data coming out. And so if CPI is better than anticipated, then expect it to trade more in the higher percentile right here between 362 and maybe 374. That's just my own opinion. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Looking right here though, number of retail investors have still been getting out over the last little bit. Stochastic is at 4, no defined trend, but in theory it is considered oversold. So if there's a good piece of news that does come out correlated to Lucid, or maybe even just the broader market like CPI, that might bring in some value investors for Lucid, causing it to go higher. But like I've been saying over the last little bit, I do feel it has to come down to Lucid to save itself from this downtrend. So Peter, like if you're listening, just buy some damn stock, even if it is as small as $100,000 or like 100 million. Like you've made more than enough. Like definitely you can spare that. Just buy your stock, show commitment in Lucid, bigger picture, because this is not jiving right now. This is just going to continue to bleed. And for as long as Lucid continues to go down, the risk goes up for the PIF just to get so fed up with Lucid and just take it private. I know a lot of people don't really like that topic, but it is very true. So for instance, just throwing that out there, if Lucid goes down to $2, like the risk versus reward for the PIF, like it is a lot more advantageous in their case, not for retail investors, but for the PIF, just to be like, you know what, instead of me giving you more money for you to bleed and just burn through it, probably tail end of Q2 2024, why don't I just take you over and buy you completely out, and I'll do whatever the hell I want with you. So there's a fine line Lucid is kind of treading right now, and if I was Peter, I'd be fully aware of that and start to bring up and kind of raise the sentiment. So let me know your thoughts. Give yourself a shout out. Were you brave enough to buy today? I did buy. I don't know if I call that brave or dumb, but I did buy at 355. I said that yesterday in a couple comments. I did already put a bid in yesterday for 355. I didn't anticipate it to go down this much, but like I said, when it is going on a death spiral, nobody's willing to buy it. It goes down very, very fast. So give yourself a shout out if you bought. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, sign up for this promo with Moomoo. Simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so this is one of the best deals in the market, has been extended up until January the 15th. Just sign up by clicking on the link in the description below or the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.